In one of my previous tutorials, I have been talking about PHPMailer and how to use it to send an email. And I have got a lot of comments on how to integrate PHPMailer with HTML forms, how to use it to send an attachments, how to send multiple emails, etc. And for that reason, in this tutorial, I will show you how to create contact form and use the PHPMailer to do all that stuff. So let's do it. Hey, what's up guys? Sinead here from codingpassiveincome.com, the place where I help others to become a web developer much easier and faster than they will do it on their own. So, if that is something that interests you, consider subscribing. So before we even start with this tutorial, I want to explain you on my whiteboard the basics that you need to understand for this tutorial. So what we are going to do is we will create one HTML form. We will have 3 inputs. First one will be name, another one will be email, the next one will be body of this email, and the last one and optional will be so that you can choose some file to send together with this email, and of course we are going to have one submit button. So what will happen is when someone press this submit button, we will send all data to the PHP, and inside PHP we will just verify this information, and if everything is okay, we will use PHPMailer to send an email. In this tutorial, first time, I never did it before, I will write a function. So I will just show you what is the function. So let's say we have some part of the code. Let's say this is some PHP code. We have some lines here. And what the function is, it gives us the ability to execute this part of the code multiple times, so that we don't need, if we for example need to execute 5 times this code, we don't need to write this code 5 times. One, then write it again here, and so on. So with function, we will just give some name to this part of the code, and anytime that we need it, we will just call it. So let's say, for example, we have a part of the code that sums 2 numbers. So let's say total equal number 1 plus number 2, and we will just do echo total. Okay, so if each time we have 2 different numbers, we will each time need to write this code. But what we can do is we will define function and say function, let's say sum, and we will have 2 parameters, number 1 and number 2. So we'll say number 1, number 2, open and close. So now if we want to sum, for example, 2 and 3, we will say sum, and here we will only pass 2 parameters. Number 1 will be 2, number 2 will be 3. Okay, and the result will be 5. If we want to do it again, we will say sum 3 plus 8 and so on. So as many times as we want to do it, we will just write one line of the code instead of doing all of this. So this is just the basic explanation. So let me now show you how to do it on PC. So now I'm here at my PHP store, and I have only created a new project called PHP contact form. I have created 2 folders, attachment and image, and in the image I have one file, logo.png, and I have an empty index.php file. And the last thing that we need for this tutorial is to download PHPMailer. So I will just go to the Google and I will search for PHPMailer. Okay, hit the first link, and here I'm going to do clone or download zip, and I will just save it to the same folder. After that, I'm going to this folder. I will extract everything, delete this, and I'm going to rename this to the PHPMailer. So the first thing that we need to do is we are going to create HTML4. So I will create normal HTML document. So in the body I will have form, method I will use post, action I will use this file, and for this tutorial, since we are going to send an attachment, I will use encryption type, which will be multipart form data. And if you are not sending any attachment in your form, you don't need this part here. Okay, so I'm going to create one input. Type will be text, name I will say username, placeholder will be name, and I will say it will be required. Put one break, so let me just duplicate this. Email, and I will say the type will be email too. After that, I will have one text area. I will name it body. Put break. I'm going to have one attachment, so type will be file, name will be attachment. I will also set it as required, and I'm going to have one input that will be submit button. So name submit, value send email. So now we have in the form the name, email, body of the email, attachment, and we have also submit button. And that is basically all that we need. I will just set and body as required. So since I don't have my local host set to send an emails, I will just upload everything to my web hosting and test it here. So this is just what we have at the moment. So since I want to make this a little bit nicer, I'll just write some CSS first. So I will say style, type text CSS, and for the input and text area, I will say width will be 250 pixels, height let's say 27 pixels, and then for the text area I can say height will be 100 and resize let's say only vertical, and let's say here I will say margin bottom, I will set it to the 10 pixels, and also I can for the body do text align to the center and margin top, let's say I will put it 250 pixels. So approximately it will be in the center of the screen. So let me just quickly upload this. Refresh. So this is what we have got. It's in the center of the screen. We have name, email, text. We can choose the file and have a button to send. So I will just say here placeholder message, And let's say I will just include one image logo.png. I will have 2 breaks, and that's it when we are talking about styling. Okay, I forgot to upload images. Okay, so that's it. Very nice and simple contact form. So now, once we have done all of this, I will just put other files for upload. Okay, and now we are going to write the PHP code that will accept all those informations, verify and send an email. So I'll say PHP, and I will say here if isset post submit, which means if someone pressed this button, the part here will execute. So I will say require PHPMailer autoload.php, and here, like in the beginning of this tutorial, I have talking about how to create functions. So here I'm going to write one function that will basically just execute PHPMailer and send an email. So function, I will name it send email, and then the parameters that this function will receive, I will say to, where we are sending email, from name, let's say body, and attachment. And here we are going to write just normal PHPMailer code like we did in the previous tutorial. So I'll say mail equal new PHPMailer. Here I will say mail add attachment. Say here mail set from. So I'll say here who is sending, and I will also specify the name of this person. Mail address is used to where we are sending our email. Now we need to specify the subject. So we'll say mail subject. Let's say contact for email. Mail body is the body, and I can say mail is HTML false. So it will be just plain text email. And here we can say return mail sent. So this will just return is it the email sent or not. And now here we are just going to call this function. So let's name is post username, email is post, what we said here is email. Okay, body is post body. So we have name, email, body, and the last thing that we need is attachment. So what I'm going to do is first I will define where our attachment will be uploaded. So I will say file equal attachment will be the name of the folder that we specified here, and then I'm going to use base name files attachment, and here I will use name. So if you wonder from where I get this, basically when we have this type of the form, PHP will also create an array which is in the global variable files, and the name will be attachment, which is this here, and this attachment will also have some informations like name, size, temporary name, etc. If you want to see what we have here, you can always do something like this and see what type of informations we have. So let me just show you, for example. Okay. Okay, everything is uploaded. So now if you refresh, I will just put some basic informations. I'm going to choose file, let's say this, and when I hit send email, we have printed everything that is inside variable files. So as you can see, we have attachment, and attachment is associative array, and in that array we have name of the file, we have type, as you can see it's image JPEG, we have temporary name, it's here, we have error, it means 0, and we have the size of the file. So if for any reason we want to check for the extension of the file, or we want to check the size, type of the file, whatever it is, we can use it from here. So now I'm not going to show you all of that. I will just show you how to send an email with attachment. I will have another tutorial on how to upload files, and I will go really deep into this topic. So I will say here move uploaded file, and the file that we are going to move is files attachment, and I'm going to use temporary name, which is here. Okay, temporary name, and I'm going to move it to my folder, and I will move it to this file, which is folder attachment, and file will be the same name. And here I will just say if everything is okay, I will move this file, otherwise I will display some message, let's say please check your attachment. Okay, let's say I will define here a message. Okay, and down below, let's say under this form, I will just display the response from the server. So I'll say here PHP echo message. Okay, and here I'm just going to send an email. So I'll say if send email, I'll say here name. So send email receiving to, which is where we are sending our email. So to will be, I will specify directly where I want to send an email. Okay, so from is our email, from name is our name, body is body, and attachment is our file. So if we send an email, we will say message email sent, else message email failed. Okay, so let me now try this. I will refresh. So the name, let's say tutorial, email, let's say I'm sending from this email, message, this is our email message. I will choose some attachment, let's say this one, hit send email, and as you can see I have here a response email sent. So if I go now to my inbox, you can see that I have got a new email. It says tutorial and there is an attachment. And last thing that I want to show you is how to verify how to send multiple emails. So let's say if this email is sent, I want to notify another user and send him email too. So I will just define, let's say I'll just call function send email to, let's say I will send it to the hello@codingpassiveincome.com. From, let's say I will send it from website.cpi.com. Okay. From name, let's say website will send this email. Body, let's say hey, I just sent, or hey, we have received new email. And let's say we want to send attachment, so we can say here attachment equal empty. And let's test this. So let's say tutorial 2 email admin at, let's say from this one, new message, choose file. Okay, what was this? Send email, email sent. So now I should receive email here. So as you can see, everything is looking good. And now let me check my another inbox, hello@codingpassiveincome.com. As you can see, I have got a new email from website, and the body is hey, we have received new email, and there isn't any attachment. So on this way, and now when we have a function, we can execute this part of the code as many times as we want to. So here I'm sending one type of email, and here I'm sending another email. So I can just duplicate this as many times as I want to, and each time we will send an email. And this is the way on how to send multiple emails by using PHPMailer. So guys, if you have any questions, please put in the comments below, and I will be happy to check and answer all of them. And also, if you like this video, please like it and share it with your friends. Take care.